There is a need to educate more of the population on the characteristics and prevalence of autism. Autism is made up of several challenging characteristics like lack of social skills, lack of speech and nonverbal communication, and repetitive behaviors. The occurrence of autism is on the rise, and because of lack of knowledge, assumptions are made as to what it causes and what it looks like. There are several factors that come into play when talking about what causes autism, and most are still unknown. However, there has been some correlation between the development of autism and sensory sensitivities and medical issues such as gastrointestinal problems, seizures, or sleep disorders. According to Dr. Stephen Shore, if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Every case of autism is completely unique. Approximately 1 in 59 children are diagnosed with ASD. ASD stands for Autism Spectrum Disorder, which encompasses childhood disintegrative disorder, pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, or PDD-NOS, and Asperger's syndrome that have now all been grouped together. There are several groups that have surfaced over the years in support of the diagnosis, such as Autism Speaks, Autism Key, and the Autism Society. Each of these organizations contributes to the advancements that are made every day on the awareness and rising occurrence of the diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, and donations are a great way to support their mission.
Autism is a spectrum disorder. It has to be adjusted to the level of the person's ability or according to where they fall on the spectrum. The individual has to be tested and their specific abilities and weaknesses must be identified to come up with an effective teaching plan and goal. It is important to include the individual's family in their treatment because repetition and reward are key. Autism is usually noticed by the age of 2 or 3 years old. However, there are signs as early as 18 months. Today, in many countries, and early detection and treatment is the most important factors in helping these individuals live normal, independent, productive lives in society. The specific problem with people suffering from autism is their inability to socialize, communicate, and control repetitive behaviors and thoughts. These thoughts and behaviors are not exactly the same in all that suffer with autism, so each plan is different. One thing that science knows for sure about autism is that it occurs in the brain during development. Scientists and experts in the field have also figured out that the brain can be retrained to a certain degree. If science ever figures out an exact cause, it may be possible to either eliminate the cause completely or treat it better.
In February of 2005, Bob and Suzanne Wright, grandparents of a child with autism, founded Autism Speaks. However, it was Bernie Marcus who donated $25 million to the cause that jump-started the organization. We chose this organization because Autism Speaks is working to increase awareness, global understanding, and acceptance. They focus on advancing research into causes and better treatments for autism spectrum disorders and related conditions, both through direct funding and collaboration. The organization has set up several resources to aid those with ASD in succeeding independently in life by doing things to help their transition into adulthood, like finding housing, jobs, and transportation. In order to provide these assets to those who are in need of them, Autism Speaks accepts donations that are put towards helping people diagnosed with autism accomplish their goals. Not only does Autism Speaks provide support to the individuals with autism, but also to their families. Their website, www.autismspeaks.org, has an abundance of information regarding financial planning, safety, school resources, different technologies, and health and wellness for families to refer to. The support and guidance that the organization offers make it one of the best of its kind and a worthy cause for donation.
Autism Speaks is a trustworthy company who donates millions of dollars each and every year. They are the main catalyst in research development. What I mean by this is that their money that they donate helps speed up the development in research making breakthroughs each and every year. They work closely with Congress, the White House, and state legislators. They give people with autism health care and insurance, along with housing and education. They have programs to even offer employment. The company even has a plan for the next 10 years. This company truly cares about autism and is only here to aid people.
These are some of the stories that prove that autism is bright but hard for these students. AutismSpeaks.com has a few stories from people that have autism. One of the first is about Bridget. She is a 10-year-old and has a twin and an older brother. Some of the things she does is she plugs her ears when she is falling behind her sister as a sign of sensory sensitivity. She swims a lot and has made a lot of progress in speech and language and loves to sing. The next story is about Noah, a 4-year-old boy that was diagnosed when he was 2 years old. Because of lack of eye contact that his parents noticed, he was in occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech and applied behavioral and analysis sessions. He has improved with social interactions with kids and now can start kindergarten while using the tablet that help him communicate. The last story is about Hannah. She's a 20-year-old girl. She is very personable. She always asks everyone how their day is going. She works a real-life job that other people do. She is responsible for doing her job, and she does it. She doesn't have the best communication, but she was trying her hardest and making friends. She will walk up to someone and just stare because she doesn't know what to say. She wants to talk but doesn't know how. These are the 3 stories that I found and wanted to share because once you're diagnosed with autism, there's no way of escaping it. You can get better at certain things, but as you see, there isn't any way of getting rid of the diagnosis. Some of the stats are ASD is reported to occur
Did Alexis time out?
Go ahead with yours, Brandon.
Okay. Because I don't know if she finished. But anyways, so after reviewing some of the statistics that Alexis mentioned, I'm going to be talking about the implementation part of it and how, a philanthropist can best support this, organization. From the numerical statistics listed above, one of the, biggest issues is the financial aspect of the disease. She mentioned that, it's about $1 million difference of cost and lifelong expenses between a person with autism versus a person without it. Alexis also said that the total cost of the disease yearly for services is close to $250 billion. That's a massive market, for like the services, and the cost, to help people with the disease has to come from somewhere. So with that in mind, a major way to contribute towards the disease and I guess to help people out there in need is to basically just donate funds for support to a verified nonprofit charity or locally where the funds are being used to fully help the people in need. If you cannot support the cause financially or feel that your available income isn't enough to make a dent in someone's care, then I would suggest a fundraiser to raise awareness and gather donations from others who can make larger donations. And this type of action focuses now, on giving your free time to the cause. Keep in mind, though, even if people contributing to the fundraiser aren't making huge donations, so long as there's a lot of people participating, the gathered amount will add up nicely and ultimately put a good dent into bettering the lifestyle of those affected. Like I said, this is contributing, your time and organizational skills to help this cause, in which a philanthropist would do, to gather the funds needed to support it. If you didn't want to go with organizing a fundraiser, as far as on the donating time spectrum, you could go on your own and find a local organization to donate your time to and help people one-on-one the best way you can. The biggest con to this type of action is the lack of knowledge and skill to really, educate and help people with the disease grow, because it does take a special skill set and knowledge to bring people suffering from autism up to speed to where they need to be to function independently in society. since we, I guess, already went over money as well as, putting forth time into helping out, let's talk about, I guess, influencing. And, what I mean by that is influencing victims of the disease, by helping them out with jobs or opportunities. And this is a type of way to help out people suffering from not a super aggressive form, or those who have grown out of a super aggressive form of being developmentally disabled. And that could be vouching for them in a company to hire them to do a job that's maybe steady, simple, or repetitive, so that they can further the path of an independent lifestyle and gain their own income. Or if you have the authority, that could mean hiring people with ASD in positions that you might see fit, that you don't mind training a little bit longer than someone without a disability. If neither of those are an option, and you have the ability to do so by maybe working in a company that deals with manufacturing, maybe you could outsource some of the simple labor to specialized companies whose sole purpose is to provide mentally handicapped people with jobs as well as resources to do those jobs. All right. Now, restrictions and roadblocks that may occur when helping are typically going to be lack of skill, that I mentioned before, to provide physical real-time help, yourself, is maybe, as well as the personal money to donate. But again, there are ways to overcome those roadblocks and redirect your resources. So, talking about those two, I wanted to go further with an explanation and justification for why Dr. T should consider this case. So I talked about how a person could help our cause, as well as mention restrictions, but now I want to talk about why someone should put forth their effort. All right. The first reason, I believe, is this is an appropriate cause to participate in. It is people with mental handicaps are still people and still deserve to have the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. Helping out with this cause will surely allow the people suffering from this handicap to have the necessary resources they need to hopefully become functioning members of society. The second reason is autistic research is lagging behind compared to other psychiatric disorders out there. It's kind of put it on the back burner and not allocated in as many resources as other ones out there that are more widespread known. And the third reason is pretty simple. It's just because it's a cause that's pretty achievable when looking into the cause versus effectiveness through the victims' lives. We're not trying to cure cancer. We're not trying to solve world hunger. We're trying to make a difference in the people's lives who were diagnosed with this disease. And, that on a societal level isn't too far off from being normal. So with all that in mind, I'm going to let Alexander sum everything up that we've talked about in the conclusion.
Autism affects many young children and adults with a wide range of symptoms. Doctors do not know the cause of autism, but hope to eradicate this condition someday. Organizations such as Autism Speaks and Autism Society help aid people with autism and help fund medical studies. Since autism affects everyone differently, no two people are the same. The best way to support the fight is to donate and spread awareness. April is Autism Awareness Month, so please spread the word to help bring this disorder to an end.